Hello and welcome to another episode of the Asian Seller Podcast. I'm your host, Meglam Hardwaj, and today I am so excited to be joined by Riley and Payman. Hi guys, how are you doing?
Very
What's
good. Good
up?
morning.
Good morning, good evening.
Good afternoon, wherever you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wherever you are. Awesome. So Riley and Payman, you guys of course run the FBA 90-day challenge, which I think is so interesting because you take people through the entire process of finding, sourcing, and launching a product in 90 days. That is super interesting. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And today's topic is product research. So we're going to do a bit of, you're going to share some insights and your strategies of product research. So that's going to be very interesting because a lot of our listeners are new sellers and they really get stuck at product research. I think that's the biggest challenge that most people face when they're doing this Amazon business. Okay, before that, why don't you guys give us a bit of an introduction and tell us about yourselves, your background, and are you sellers yourself? And how did you get into e-commerce? Riley, go first.
Yeah, sure. Been selling on Amazon full time since 2015. I actually came out to an e-commerce conference in Chiang Mai, Thailand, October 2014, and got into Amazon selling at that time, and basically never went home. Just been based in this part of the world for the past 5-6 years now, and so living that digital nomad life, and just running my Amazon business. That's my main business. I also have a couple other online businesses, but I kind of started out as a travel vlogger. Like my first year out here is kind of documenting my life, my travels, street food, and just like city guides and like all about living in Thailand and Southeast Asia. And then through that, I kind of got asked a lot about, Riley, what do you do? How are you traveling, full time? What is this Amazon thing? And so I wrote this long blog post on my blog about the whole Amazon FBA private label thing, and it got lots of traffic. And then so I started getting contacted like for coaching and like, how can you help me do this? And where can I buy your course? And so I'm like, okay, crap, I guess I have to make a course. And so in 2016 made my first Amazon course. And and then 2018, me and my best friend Parker, who's also my business partner in our FBA business, we started an Amazon agency, basically by popular demand, like launching products on Amazon for other brands and doing their PPC, copywriting, photos, all that stuff. And then, that was in 2018. So I've been doing that. And then, of course, I still run my YouTube channel, still do travel vlogs. And then earlier this year, when Corona hit, I was getting ready to do the 2020 update for my course. And I put it out there kind of on social media. Hey, anyone want to help me build this, help me update this and grow my Amazon school? And so I had met Payman in Chiang Mai in years previous. And he reached out and says, I'm down to do this. And we masterminded, and he actually came up with the idea to reframe the course into a 90-day challenge. And so that's what we've been working on. We started a new podcast to go along with it, FBA Lifestyle Podcast. And that's kind of my Amazon journey there.
That sounds very exciting. And Chiang Mai is such a beautiful place. I was there last year. It's absolutely wonderful. And the elephants over there, like there's so many elephant sanctuaries and all. Oh, that's amazing. My son loved that too. All right, Payman, how about you? So we met in Hong Kong. When was it? Last year, I think. So
Yes.
tell me about your story.
Well, without going too many detail, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. And then 2015, I got a job offer I couldn't refuse as a football coach in China. Football is my religion, my passion, my life. When I was a kid, my dream was to become a professional football player, but didn't happen. So I went to China to work as a football coach for a year and a half. And then while I was there, I was living in Hangzhou, where the Alibaba headquarters is. I could actually walk 5 minutes to the one of the HQs of Alibaba there. So I was always keeping an eye and being an entrepreneur. And then at the same time, I was trying to develop a football business with my business partner at the time. Very connected in the world of professional football. We're trying to bring professional football clubs from Europe, especially Spain and France, and Argentina to develop their brand in China. We're actually, we're dealing with the two biggest clubs in Argentina because professional football world in sport is a very small word. Word got out, and we got contacted by the National Federation of Argentina, the AFA, one of the top 5 federation in the world. That was just before the World Cup in 2018. So once we got approached by them, they even wanted us to be their official partner and representative in not in China but all of Asia to develop their brand. And what we're looking to do is to open official football academies around China, as well as uh, uh, doing merchandising, branding, organizing football-friendly games, and doing exchange between sending kids from China to their facilities in Argentina. So we're working on something very big. But then that didn't happen because, when you deal with Chinese, sometimes it's not the easiest thing. But
Yeah.
I learned a lot through that. And at the same time, I also was transferred one time by my company. I was working as a football coach in Shenzhen. And Shenzhen
Mhm.
is headquartered for Amazon FBA and people. That's when I got very into that scene. I met Mike Michelini there, went to his
Yeah.
event. And when I was there, then I went back to Hangzhou. And then I loved organizing. I love organizing people. I'm a connector. I said Mike was looking to expand his GFA events, and I'll just say, Mike, I can do it for you. He said, yeah, sure, let's do it. Organize the events. So long story short, he got there. We made an event there, was a success, and then I got involved with them. They were launching a brand on Amazon. I even did a case study on that, and I was I was the one to be in charge of all the sourcing and going to the factories, because the factories were located in Zhejiang province. So I was there. I went there all at least 2-3 times a week to the factories and all that. So we did launch that. And long story short, that product was doing okay. It got sold last year, bought by an investment firm. So and after that, and at the end of 2018, I got bored in China. My good friend that you know as well, Lucien, he said, "Why don't you come to Hong Kong? We try to make something happen here." So I went to Hong Kong, spent 1 year there. I love Hong Kong. Can't wait to go back. And I get more involved into the e-commerce field. And I was uh, I was very happy to meet you as well during the Global Resources event. I recommend that to everyone, not only the talk show, I mean the talks, the presentation, but also the people, the actual fair. You meet actual, suppliers from all over the world. I love going, especially meeting suppliers from other countries, especially Vietnam, Indonesia, and of course India. I made some good contact there. But yeah, and then I came back home at the end of February this year, wondering what to do, and I kept in touch with Riley all this year, just following him on Instagram and Facebook. And so he was, launching his course. I reached out to him, and the rest is history. We just, we're doing something very exciting, and I couldn't be happier, and looking forward to what's in store for us now.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, Shenzhen is a city where that's very, close to my heart as well. I lived there for 10 years.
Oh
And
wow!
in fact, my son was born there.
Oh wow!
So
Okay.
yeah, for a long time, he considered himself, Chinese. He had this sort of identity crisis. Am I Chinese? Am I Indian? Okay, maybe I'm Chinese because I was born there.
You're Chindian. You're Chindian.
Indian, yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's talk about product research. Now, first of all, before you start telling me about your specific method, because I know that everybody has, a specific method, and you guys are going to share your strategies as well. But do you consider, product research an art or a science? How do you approach it?
Mm.
Because for many people, it's a science, and they have, they only look at data and nothing else. But a lot of other people, they also put in their they treat it as an art, and it's very subjective for them. They only do products that they have a passion for example, or that they have sort of an affinity for. So how do you guys approach product research? Is it more of an art or a science?
Mm. Yeah. I would say, speaking on my journey, that's all I have to speak for.
Yeah.
My most successful products have been the ones that fall on more of the art side.
Mm.
So like that's why my whole spiel in my course ever since 2016 has been differentiation. You got to stand out on Amazon. And the same thing is still true. So, there's no exact science to coming up with a unique product and a good idea.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a balance between the science and the art. There's a science to, checking the Jungle Scout keyword and revenue data, and having a procedure to, like, we have this whole procedure, like open 30 tabs, like as quick as you can with products that are very interesting, and then go back through them and check the metrics, add them to our product research spreadsheet, and do that 30 times. And then after you have add 30, then go back all the 30 and do the next level of like research. So it's a combination for sure. But the thing we keep harping is the notes section at the bottom of the cheat sheet is, keep your notes. Think about these products, think about how to improve them. Think about, have you ever used this type of thing in real life? Like, what do you actually legitimately wish that you could improve about this product? And that's one big part of it. And then another part that we tell everyone is, things that you're passionate about, or things that you've actually like would use in your daily life. I tell people when they ask me what should I choose, what category is good, Riley, I'm like, well, start at categories that you're an actual customer in, and start there. Because if your whole project is developing a product that you are a potential customer for, it makes it easier and more fun. So yeah, that's my spiel on that, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm really glad to hear that, because I find too many people just too focused on the data and just going to Helium 10 or Jungle Scout, whatever, and finding products that have low competition and high demand, and just looking at keywords, and then selling a product here, another product there in a different category, and not really building a business as such. So let's talk about your product research technique. I mean, how do you go about it, and what do you teach? I think there was a fancy term that Payman used to describe it. So tell us about it.
Yes, what we do, basically, the first thing we tell them is you need to be different than anyone else. So most people go straight to Amazon, look at the bestseller and stuff like that. And we try to tell them, listen, if you do that, you're going to end up with the same products that everyone else is doing. The market is already quite saturated. What we do is come to the basics. What we tell them is make a list, 5 categories of every product you see around you that you touch, feel on a daily basis, whether it's at home, in the kitchen, in your office, at the gym, wherever. Make 5 lists, put 100 products on each category, and at the end of the week, you have 500 products. Then once you have that, then you can start looking at the numbers on Jungle Scout and other softwares. But first, make your list of products that you're using yourself. Don't try to come up with other things. See what you're using, because if you do that, you can find products that you're passionate about, and that's what we tell them. That's the most important thing. And another thing we tell them is look outside the box. I was listening to, I love listening to podcasts all the time. I love going on long bike runs. I was listening to your podcast yesterday and other people. And one of the guys that I follow closely is Tim Jordan. What he says is that go on other places, for example, Pinterest and Etsy, for example. Amazon tells you what people are buying right now, whereas Pinterest tells you what people are looking for but are not able to get. And there's usually a gap of between 12 to 24 months between the products you see on Pinterest and when they become available on Amazon. So that gives you a huge window of opportunity to go for products that may not be available currently. So that's one of the things that we keep on emphasizing for people, because in this day and age, we all know Amazon is an amazing opportunity, but it's also extremely competitive. So for us, it's all about differentiation. And that's something that we can talk later. We call it the MLD, the multiple layer of differentiations. Right. And that's one part of it. So any way you can to differentiate, to be different, that's what we're trying to tell them.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, and so you said you asked people to make lists of 5 categories, but what kinds of products are people looking for? Because I mean, I'm looking around myself. I have a water bottle, I have a mouse, a keyboard. I mean, they're just such normal products. But how do you come up with, or how do you put products on the list that are interesting or innovative or not too competitive? Like, I wouldn't want to sell water bottles on Amazon, right? I mean, that's not something I would do. No. So how do I go about choosing, products for those different lists? Do you have any ideas or advice?
We tell them to make a list, regardless of the product. Regardless, don't even look at the competitiveness of the product yet. Just make a 5 list or 6 lists, each per category, and then
Okay.
once you have a list, then you go and you start going deep down into looking at the marketplace, running Jungle Scouts and other softwares, and then you can make a pre-selection. You can vet them. You fill your funnel with a lot of products, and then slow it down to maybe once you get say 5 or 10. Once you get 5 or 10 based on the numbers, then you can go further down, and you can, it's almost like a selection process. Basically, it's a
Right.
selection process.
So do you have to run, your data on 500 products? Like, is that?
You can do that, but also you can get a hunch of for example, for example, you mentioned the example of bottle water. So if you go on Amazon, you see products with a lot of reviews. So if you see more than, just visually, if you see more than say 5 sellers with more than say 500 reviews, then obviously that's something that you may want to be stay away from, especially if you're just beginning, you have no experience, and you have a limited budget. We tell them to go for products that are selling, but still allow them to stay under the radar, so you don't attract the big sharks, and allow you to it's much better to go after, say, to build a portfolio of a related products of say 4 or 5, I would say, decently selling products, and going for the home run. And because especially if you're a beginner, that's going to be very difficult for you to compete on that. So, and just having a very fast visual inspection of on the first page of Amazon, you can see, hey, this product I can see some potential. Just write it down. That's another way to screen to screen your products, and further make your list of selection. So that once you have your top 10, top 20, that's when you go deep down into doing the market research, run the numbers, and you spend a lot of time studying the numbers and all that.
Okay.
So I actually have, I just pulled up my presentation on this. So if I can share my screen, I can go ahead and just, I have a video on our YouTube channel. We basically go through this. It's called my 12-step product research process.
Go for it. Share your screen. You should be able to do it.
Yeah, let me share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You see it?
Yep.
Cool. So
do you want to go into presentation
yeah,
mode?
this full presentation is on our YouTube channel, FBA Lifestyle. And let's wait till this loads here. So yeah, this is the science part, but as I said before, in the back of your mind during this whole science part, you got to be using your creative side of your brain. It's not just looking at the numbers and then, okay, Riley, I did your whole 12 steps. Like, I'm going to have a genius idea at the end of this, right?
Right.
No, not really. This is the science that gets your brain jogging and gets your brain looking at as many weird niches as possible. And part of what Payman was saying at the beginning was, we have students start making this list of things they say in day one. That's like the jog. That's like just getting your blood flowing. It gets your brain thinking about seeing physical products in real life and starting to think about different functions of products, and like, oh, I actually bought that. Like, becoming aware of the physical products around you and just warming up that physical product juice in your brain. And then we have this whole 12-step thing, and I'll go ahead and just get into it. So bada bing, bada boom. So basically, at first, you want to go wide first. You want to go as wide as possible. And by that I mean getting your eyeballs on as many weird niches as possible in the first few days. Because what I see a lot of people do is they're on day one of product research, and then they send me a message like, right, oh man, this thing is so exciting. Like, check this out. What do you think about this? I'm like, how long have you been doing product research? They're like, oh, a couple hours. I'm like, bro, don't even talk to me until your cheat sheet has 30 ideas fully analyzed, okay? People get too excited too fast. So this is what I put together, this 12-step thing to help people avoid that. I know it can be exciting, once you're discovering, oh, I didn't even know this exists. Oh my God, I just looked at the numbers. Oh, look at that revenue. Oh my God, and there's no competition. Riley, I think I'm going to do this. Like, oh man. And then you go to Alibaba and you're like messaging suppliers on like hour 5. Like, come on, slow down. Okay. If you really want to do thorough market research, that's why I kind of put this down. So step 1, browse search areas. And by search areas, Amazon is just one of them. We also have Pinterest, Etsy, and some secret sites that we talk about inside of our group. And basically, you're looking around those sites for products that fit the private label criteria, obviously. So like non-electronics, things that can fit inside a shoebox, things that you can private label, price between like 10 and $50-ish. And just when you see something that is interesting that could potentially meet that criteria, just click and open up a new tab and then forget about it. Don't go deep. Just say, okay, that's interesting. New tab, and then open up 30 tabs, or until your computer can handle it. So step 2, once you have 30 tabs open, go back through and search the main keyword for what that product is.
For each, so these are all different products, right? I mean,
these are all different ideas. Yeah. So you just open a tab on 30 different potential ideas. You're not thinking too hard, just like, okay, that's interesting potential. And then after you have 30 open, go back through those 30 individually and do a quick competition and demand check. So on Amazon, search the main keyword for for whatever that product is, and open that Jungle Scout Chrome extension tab, and make sure that there's 3 or more products that are doing like 5K a month in revenue. That just verifies real quick that people are actually, buying this, that there's enough demand for this type of thing. And then also check to make sure there's not too much competition. And what I say, if there's 5 or more listings that have 1,000 reviews, I would say avoid that, because those 1,000 review listings, as we know, they suck up all the sales. So if those 2 things check out, then add it to my product research cheat sheet, which looks like this. And you add it here, and this is available inside. Megla will put the link below. It's available inside my ebook as well. Looks like this. livingthatlife.com/FBA-ebook. Anyway, so you go through. If it checks out for step 2, add it to the cheat sheet. If not, close that tab and forget about it forever. And step 3 is basically you repeat that for all those 30 tabs until you have. Repeat steps 1 and 2 until you have 30 ideas inside of your cheat sheet. So now this is 30 ideas inside the cheat sheet that have checked out of step 2. So 30 ideas that are like actually checks the competition and demand check. Here's some logos of sites that you look on. For people that are listening, we got Etsy, Kickstarter, Pinterest, Google, Instagram, Amazon, Alibaba, and we have a list of tons more.
So these are the sites that you're looking for ideas, right? So you're looking for ideas on these sites?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. These are what I'll call search areas.
Okay.
And a step 4, add the search and sales numbers and sub-niche keywords for all of your 30 ideas in the spreadsheet.
So what do you mean by sub-niche keywords? Could you explain?
Like long tail keywords.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we're trying to target a long tail keyword. Any SEO, Google SEO, this is just digital marketing. You want to target those long tail keywords, not so much competition on there. So that's same thing with an Amazon product. There's a section on the cheat sheet for long tail keywords. Add those in, and then quickly note the search volume for each of those long tail keywords, and then quickly move on. Major key. Quickly move on. Don't get all excited about this. So you're like, you're adding the data in. Just forget about it. Move on to the next one. We're going wide. And then step 5. So you've done that for all the ideas. Step 4, and then step 5. After you've filled out all the step 4 information, go back to the beginning idea and go back through and look a little bit deeper around all of these search areas for this keyword. So let's say you found the idea on Etsy. Now step 5, go search this keyword on Pinterest. Go search it on Kickstarter, Amazon, Instagram, Alibaba. And now you're doing kind of the more creative work. You're keeping an idea out of, okay, what unique finds do I see on these sites? Is there a model or feature or function that's not on Amazon yet? Take note of that. And that's always a big thing. You find something that's not on Amazon and bring it to Amazon for sure. And then you're also brainstorming, taking notes in the cheat sheet area of, maybe there's comments about these products on these websites. Maybe there's positive reviews, bad reviews. And then, maybe just close your eyes and do a little meditation. Picture yourself using it and, do some creative brainstorming about how you could potentially differentiate this product type of thing. And ideally, in a perfect world, you're adding a unique functional feature. You're actually making it functionally improved. That's the ideal. You're making it actually better than the other options on Amazon. And then step 6, after you've done that, that deep dive work for all the ideas in your spreadsheet, then you go back one more time and just start crossing out ideas that you're like, I don't see myself doing that. So cross out, get that big red marker virtually, and just get that delete button ready and just cross out anything that you're just like, I can't see myself doing that, move on. And so then keep doing that until you have your top 5 ideas. And then step 7, after you have your top 5, okay, then we go to the next level down the matrix here. Hold on. And then you're going to search deeper on Alibaba for your top 5 ideas. Kind of same thing. We're just going like the next level deeper of taking note of new, unique, interesting models. For example, I found an interesting, unique model on page 50 once of Alibaba. So search really, really deep and see if there's any unique, interesting models or features. And then the next bullet point is keep thinking of differentiating ideas. Keep thinking of differentiating ideas. This is like the whole thing. It's like, we tell people, think of a differentiating idea. There's no science to that. And that's actually, kind of the whole reason that, we realized that having a mastermind instead of a regular course makes sense, because you need to be able to have someone to bounce ideas off of. This isn't an exact science. Like you need consulting, you can't, it's not just an equation. You definitely need a brainstorm aspect to this. So, and obviously in our group, every week we bounce product ideas and brainstorm ideas together. And then, step 8, message suppliers. So order samples for your top favorite 3 product ideas from ideally 3 suppliers. Now, some people, they just, they choose their product and then they order samples from that. Some people keep it open at sample phase. Okay, I'm either going to go with one of these 3 products. Let's order samples for all of these 3. And then based on that, then I'll choose my final product idea. Here it says for your top 1 or top 3 product ideas. And then obviously it's just working with the supplier, messaging them, see if they can actually do these customization ideas. I'm sure you have plenty of, content about negotiating with suppliers, seeing if they can make your customizations, test each sample thoroughly. And then step 9, choose a winner, place small test order, ideally as small as possible, a 2K or under, use negotiation tactics. We just had a great interview with the Steven, the negotiation guy. I think you did an interview with him as well. Yeah. So go to him for that. And then send your logo. We're kind of past product research now, but send your logo, packaging files, send to FBA. Step 10, list on Amazon. Step 11, launch. Step 12, collect money.
Step 13, rinse and repeat.
Anyway, that was my little product research.
And just would like to add one more source for searching for products that we actually personally like a lot is looking into subscription boxes. Like Tradejoy, another which is called my. Okay, well, let me send the domain. At least the top 30. What is it? I will tell you right now. My subscription box, my subscription addiction.com tells you the top 30 categories in the US alone of the best subscription. The reason why we love looking into those because subscription companies always launch new unique products. It's always about staying one or two steps, or even a few steps ahead of the competition. That's another way to go where others are not looking into. So it's all about MLD, multiple layers of differentiation. That's a bottom line for what we're really emphasizing on, because you need to be the days of just taking any product, putting your logo, that's way gone. But now, as I like saying is, if you missed the first gold rush of Amazon, which was between 2006 2015, that's okay. Now the second rush is starting right now, 2.0, especially now with the current Corona and post-Corona economy. Yes, there will be much more competitors, but that's a good opportunity because the majority of them will not be doing that, especially the competitors from China. They're very, I wouldn't say lazy, but they just want to go for the low-hanging fruit, doing it the easy way. But for us to survive, especially if you're starting new and with not a smaller budget, you need to think outside the box. Don't just go by the numbers. The numbers tell you only what a snapshot of what's available now. So you need to go outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And also, yeah.
And, what about, going really outside the box? I mean, I know that there are some people who do things like, like rugs or, really large products that generally other people would not do. You mentioned, Riley, you have those guidelines that just fit in a shoebox and all of those things. I think a lot of people have been following those, guidelines as well. But do you also kind of tell people, okay, think about, what exactly is being sold, on retail? A lot of people who are buying stuff on retail are actually now looking to buy the same stuff on e-commerce, and it's not necessarily, the smaller stuff or, the silicone baking mats and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people are also buying their garlic presses, yoga mats, and all of those things.
I know a couple people who are do private label method, but like closer to the $100 retail price and big stuff. So that's a great point there. Just when everyone else is going left, you can go right. Why not do the calculations? If it's profitable, it's profitable.
Right. What kind of go ahead, Payman.
So for example, going for the more expensive products, that's something that may not be something feasible for most of the newbies, especially if they're starting with a limited capital. Right. And also for them, it's best to start with something maybe smaller, cheaper, so that they can get their feet wet to learn the process and have healthy expectations. Your first product is not going to be a home run. Even if you don't succeed with the first product, don't think of it as a failure. Think of it as a learning. It's almost like Riley likes to say, it's like a college course. You learn in the process. So you either earn or you learn. And if your first product doesn't work, that's fine. Don't give up. Take what you learned. That's going to be very invaluable, and then put that into practice for the next product. So going for the big, bulky, expensive product, that can be something. But again, for someone starting new, someone with a limited budget, that's something that probably will not be the best fit for them, especially starting out. Once they have some experience and they've built a nice capital, then by all means.
Right. I'm going to ask you this one question. This was actually asked by a new seller just yesterday. We had a virtual meetup over here with local sellers in Singapore. And, somebody asked, when should we do our brand registration and all, right? Like, what's the process? Should we get everything set up, like our logo and, do our, get brand registry and trademark and everything, and get our website and, get all of those things going and then launch a product? Or should we just, launch something, see if it works, and then if it does, then go ahead and, think of a name or do your trademarks and get brand registry and all? So what sort of approach do you recommend newbies to take?
We have our students to out the gate come up with that brand name and product name, get a logo made, the whole thing, a brand out the gate, and then apply for Amazon brand registry ASAP. So basically, you're just going to need your brand name. You're going to need your brand website. So create a quick website, and then a picture of your logo on your physical product. So, you'll need to have that first unit made unless you want to hack that through Photoshop or something. New thing I found out just recently, Amazon has a new thing called IP Accelerator.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you can get brand registered approval like within 2 weeks by basically paying them extra money.
Yeah, and they do have lawyers and all in
Yeah, they
that
partner
program
with
that they
some law
recommend.
firms. You go to it, you choose which law firm, and then the law firm you pay them like $900, and then they work with Amazon, get you brand registry while the trademark is still pending, basically.
Right.
And also to add that to that, Megla, I think I heard in the podcast, might have been even your podcast, you mentioned that Amazon is going toward that way that for you to be able to list a product, you have to be brand registered. If you don't, they don't allow you. I think it was on one of your podcasts. So even if, for example, right now we can still get away with just launching a product and worrying about doing that later on, it's a good practice to get that doing as soon as possible, because eventually it's only a matter of time. The writing's on the wall. Amazon is going to require that for you to list a product or a brand, you need to have brand registry. So the sooner people embrace that, the better they will be in the long run.
Right, absolutely. I think that's the error 5565 or something like that that people are kind of seeing nowadays. And
Yeah, that's Grace Ann had that. What? Okay, good to know that other people are seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an issue that quite a few people here in Singapore, I know, they've had that issue. They haven't been able to. But what you need to do, and I actually asked Amazon Singapore about this as well, and what they said is you just need to raise a ticket and submit a request and send your product with the logo affixed on it. I mean, you don't have to be brand registered and all of that, but if you can just prove that, yes, you own the logo by having the brand, the logo on your product somehow, then it should work. You're allowed to do that. But yeah, I think what's happening is that Amazon is really focusing on more of the brand registered, sellers.
Yeah. Actually, one of our students encountered that and he posted on our Facebook group that he was trying to create a listing and he was getting that error message. So yeah, it's already happening. Yeah.
What percentage of sellers, in your opinion or your experience, are successful, selling on Amazon and building successful businesses? And, what percent maybe just do one product and then it doesn't work, or for whatever reason, then they just kind of give up on e-commerce. And, so that's one part of the question, like what percent are really successful? And then second part of the same question is, what does it take to be successful, in your experience and in your view?
I can speak to my, 5 years of being a digital nomad and meeting many FBA sellers and being in many groups, and my mom launching a couple products. My younger brother has a full brand. My younger brother makes 6 figures a year on Amazon. They're really cool. I've also launched tons of products. Product success rate, what I've found is about what I've seen everyone combined that's launched FBA private label products, about 1 in 3 to 1 in 4. I found are products that, are successful. You keep around, they're making you like more than $1,000 a month, let's say. Products that actually stick and get great traction. 1 in 3 to 1 in 4. Yeah. So that's what I found out there. So I guess what it takes to be successful is you got to launch 3 or 4, before you get that one that's going to stick and be your bread and butter. And, but big picture, that's entrepreneurship,
Right.
So if you launch your first product and then, it's not a success, you're not making money right away, and you decide to quit and go back to your job and be like, oh, I gave entrepreneurship a try, then you don't deserve it. You didn't sign up to be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? What's the one stat? It's like only 1 out of 10 startups like actually turn a profit within X amount of years. So within FBA products, it's better than 1 in 10 for sure for like a traditional startup. So yeah, I guess that's what I can say. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you got to keep cracking the bat. You know what I'm saying? Until you hit that home run.
Yeah. And also to add to that, to succeed in this age it's all about differentiation. It's all about doing things that the other people are not willing to do. And one of the things that I'm really, really, really excited about is, and that's something that you, Megla, you're known for, is the India opportunity. That's something that I'm really, really, I mean, when we did the webinar for our students, they went crazy for it. A lot of them are already part of your Facebook group. And also, one thing that you mentioned in your webinar, one of your webinars on India, is that, for example, one very easy idea is just look at what's selling right now. That is, and just make a premium version of it using Indian, because you've described it very nicely that in China, they mass produce products using artificial materials. In India, they handcraft products using natural materials. For example, I give you an example, and I can use the same example. For example, let's say a dog leash. A dog leash, for example, made in China is probably going to be made with, say, faux leather, fake leather, like Pew. Okay, that's probably selling one unit is selling probably for $6. If you make a bundle for $13. Now, if you go to India, take that same item, the dog leather dog leash, you can probably find very easily a supplier that can make it for you using authentic, genuine leather. You can come up with some original, for example, designs. You can ask them, or you can just go on Pinterest. For example, you enter your keyword, for example, leather dog leash. You go on Pinterest, you see different style, design. Take that picture, send it to suppliers in India. Say, hey, I would like to make this. Can you make it in this color? And tell them what kind of materials do you have. That's a great way for you to set yourself apart. Just take current products, whether they're winning and non-winning, ideally a winning product, and make a premium, better version of it. And that way you can be completely untouchable, at least for the next 12 months, enough time to allow you to build a brand and build a nice capital to move forward.
Yeah. And I came across another example today. So we did Virtual India Sourcing Show earlier today. And there's a supplier that does hand embroidered products. And wow. He makes Christmas ornaments, Christmas tree ornaments. And all of them are hand embroidered, and they were so wow. beautiful. And there's so many different things that they can be very flexible in terms of the materials and the styles and all of the different things that they can use in one ornament. Whereas something that's machine made, it's limiting in terms of the styles or the materials that can be done. And whereas from China you'll find a lot of the mass produced Christmas decorations, which are made of, plastic or metal, or they are cute. They're very cute and they're cheap as well. But then if you go for this kind of product, then it's, differentiated and it's hand embroidered. And you also have a story behind those products because, absolutely. You can say that, okay, this is actually made by, and somebody was suggesting that they could actually put the name of the artisan who made that product, and say like, better, put it as a card or something, inside the box and say, okay, this person actually made this, this set of whatever Christmas. Yeah.
Or take a picture of the team that actually made that and tell them, hey, listen, you're actually helping a community create jobs for them. That's a feel-good aspect that a lot of people can relate to and love seeing that. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And it's also a nice story for your, if you have brand registry and all on your sure. page, you can put those images and videos and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about your 90-day challenge and how that works. So tell me.
All right.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it. So yeah, as I said in the beginning, I've kind of had my Amazon course since 2016. And then Payman and I, we masterminded. It was his idea to flip it into a 90-day challenge. And I've kind of been wanting to move this direction for a couple years into more of a tribe, entrepreneurs call it these days, more of a mastermind instead of just like a course. So like that's the new like thing and, in entrepreneurship. And so I've been kind of trying to like playing around with this tribe idea. And then his idea was, let's just make it a 90-day thing. It's, set period of time. And basically the idea is what can we set up to maximize the success rate, as high as possible? Because in my previous course, there was no, it wasn't like this basically. And in many, many courses, especially FBA courses, people don't even get around to launching, because I understand how it goes. It's really scary to transfer that money and send that off to your supplier and go for it and jump in. And so I don't have the exact details, but a lot of people in Amazon courses never get around to choosing their product and launch. and ordering it. And choosing your product actually is the first hardest thing. A lot of people, they get so overwhelmed and there's like, oh God, I have 100 ideas and I just can't choose and it's too overwhelming. And so that's why, he's like, that's why, you know, I've been always thinking this needs to be more of a group mastermind thing. So I can actually, you know, help people make that final decision and like give them that little push in the back, kick in the back, to not be scared and to make that product a choice and to place that test order. And then also to be masterminding for different unique ideas. Because, that's what I was going to say. Because based on success rate, as I was saying, like overall in the FBA space, 1 in 3, 1 in 4, but all of my products pretty much that have been, have unique features that are not yet on Amazon, pretty much all of them are successful. The ones that are unique. I've launched unique products and not unique products, kind of copycat products. And pretty much all the unique ones are do great. So what else, Payman? There's more.
The genesis of that is when we started talking with Riley about relaunching his course, revamping it. I came across a stat that blew my mind. Tony Robbins said that 70% of people that buy a book or 70% of people that buy any course don't even get past the first chapter, the first video. And I wonder, why is that? It's because there's so much that, motivation alone can take you. And when you buy, I'm sure you've bought a few courses yourself, Megla. When you buy a course, at first you're very excited. And once you start sitting down and looking at it, you see a bunch of like 35 videos, each of them an hour long. So, oh my God, how am I going to get through all of that? It's boring. And when you try to reach out to the management, you send a ticket, your user number 554. It takes you 3 days just to get a reply. I mean, you feel completely almost, hopeless. You say, you can watch a video for an hour or two, and then it's gonna fade out because the motivation is gonna go. So we said, so how can we change that? So the way for us to change it is to give it a very specific goal, measurable, quantifiable end result. And for us, it's not for them to make $1 million in 10 minutes or to tell them, hey, let me show you how to make $10,000 your first month. Because for most newbies, that's unrealistic. However, what we tell them is, listen, we tell you exactly what to do, just like a college course. That's one thing that Riley keeps on saying. It's like a college course with a curriculum. We give you daily tasks to complete, weekly assignments to do, and monthly goals to reach. And at the end of that, you will have, if you follow the step-by-step proven blueprint, you will have your result. Your result is not $10,000 a month. It's going to be to launch your product. So we take a newbie from no idea, no experience, to finding a product, selecting a product, sourcing it, launching it, and then after that, marketing it. So that's what we go. Because the reason why, coming back to Tony Robbins' incredible stat of 70% of people not doing anything, is because they're lost. They don't have a path to follow, and they don't have an accountability group where they can bounce ideas off of. And these are the main core ideas, the main core strength of our program. It's not a course, it's a challenge. And we're not selling courses, we're building and creating success stories. And that's why we kept the first group very small so that we can really work with them. And so far, we're really amazed with the results we're getting, especially in this current situation where the entire world is in lockdown. And these guys are already within what? Now they're halfway through 6 weeks. They already received their samples and starting to negotiate with suppliers, and that's in a time where the entire world is in lockdown. So and that's a testament. It's to the strength of our program, because people actually, whenever they have a question, they can ask us. We are both, me and Riley, we're available, and that's something that you do not get and most other courses, especially on Amazon, because as I said, you're among 5,000 people. These guys are not in the business of helping other people. They're in the business of selling courses. When you try to send them a ticket, you're going to be, as I said, user 654. And just to hear back from them, good luck. So, and that's the first thing that we brainstormed, Riley and I, in the beginning. So how can you make sure that this is different, that our students do not become part of that statistic of 70% that do not do anything? And the way to do it is we give them a measurable, quantifiable end result. 90 days and your product will be launched. That's something that people, even the newbies with no experience, no idea, can visualize. It's something that's not going to scare them away. How am I going to make $10,000 in the first 30 days? without any experience. That's something that scares people away. But if you tell them, hey, do that today, you do this, tomorrow you do this, we tell them just like in a college course, you get your curriculum, you say this week we're going to study this, this is your homework, this is what you do, you follow that. And at the end, you won't have an exam or a paper to submit, but you'll have an asset that can, I know it sounds cliche, and that's the the motto of ClickFunnels. You want one funnel away. You're one product away. You're one product away that can really change your life if you do it properly. So that's why we're really excited, because again, we're not in the business of selling courses. We're in the business of building success stories and creating success.
Right.
And we work basically hand in hand with our students, basically.
So what's the structure like? I mean, you said there's homework and masterminds and everything, but like when somebody signs up, what are they given? And, can you just walk through the process of like, are there some videos that they need to watch in the beginning and everything? Like what's the structure like?
Yeah, it's a whole video course inside of Teachable. And so right when they sign up, they get access to that video course. And then they're also added to the members Facebook group and group chat. And then we'll send everyone a link for the kickoff Zoom call for week 1, and then it's a weekly Zoom call. So yeah, it starts every 90 days with a new round or a new season. So it's not an evergreen thing. It's only once in every 90-day thing, and everyone goes together. So it's like a semester, so everyone's at the same stage. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a whole video course. So with all the 7 modules on the whole product research, all the way sourcing, branding, everything you need to know. Full video course, updated with all new information that I made. And then I also built this 90-day checklist. It's basically compiles all of the small little milestones and procedure into this huge 90-day checklist. Like week 1, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's based on 5 days a week. All the little things. So I spent tons of time during lockdown putting that together. It's in some project management software. It's collapsible, checkable, linkable. It's really cool. The 90-day checklist thing. And at the end of it, it has your weekly assignments and milestones. So you check that off. We also have a shared group Trello board, and we call it the scoreboard. So there's several milestones in there. There's about 20 to 30 milestones. And when everyone hits those, they check off their milestones. And so it's like a scoreboard of how fast everyone is going. And so every week you have to screenshot your checklist to the group chat. And so it's like a little competition, like who's in the lead, who's in last place. Last place you get shamed, and first place you get you get rewarded little prizes. So it's like this social accountability whole aspect to it, like an actual classroom or like actual entrepreneur mastermind tribe. Yeah, what else?
That sounds really interesting. Yeah. Go ahead.
One way that we also reward our students is, for example, the one that's doing the better. We invite them to be the next guest on our podcast to share a story, give them to highlight their story. So people love that, because people love to be recognized. And yeah, so that's another way to give them extra incentive to go for it. But honestly, we don't need to motivate them, because we vet our people very hard. We not anyone is just because you have money to join, that's not going to be enough, because we want to make sure we're working with the right people, like-minded people. Another key factor, key vision of ours is that we're shooting for 100% success rate. We want to ensure that before you get in, we want to make sure that we get with the people on a 15-minute call just to vet them. It's not a sales call. It's just for us to see, hey, if this person is in the right place, right mindset, are they ready? Are they going to be following a direction, or just going to be a pain? Because it's not about the money. We don't need the money. We want to make sure that we work with people that are because again, we're not in the business of selling courses, but we want to create success stories. And to do that, you need to be working with people that have the right mindset. As the saying says, it takes 2 to tango. So if the person is ready, they're welcome to join us. If they're not ready, we tell them, listen, it's not a good fit. Try again later, or we can refer them to other programs. Riley also has other programs that are less intensive for the people that are trying to dabble, because it's not for dabblers. This is for people that are going all in.
Right.
Yeah.
We have an
A good,
incredible opportunity.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A good, that's a good point. The whole 90-day thing is based off 15 to 20 hours a week. So you got to make sure that you have that available. So because obviously we want to keep a high success rate of people who actually launch within 90 days. So we have to verify that you have the time available, and also that you have the capital available to actually launch a product.
Right. And so do you also give advice to people on specific products to launch or not launch, like after they've shortlisted their 5 products or so? Do you actually, because that's something that people really struggle with. I mean, even if they would have quite a few products, they're not really sure if, of course you have your checklist, and they're probably, the cheat sheets and all will probably help them. But then do you also do maybe one-on-one conversations or coaching with people to, help them specifically, or is it all in a Zoom call? And,
yeah. So in the group call, everyone is free to share their product ideas and bounce ideas off of me and off of everyone else.
Okay.
The one-on-one call, that's another good point. So how we set it up is when you sign up, you can sign up for the upsell, which is a product validation calls, which is like one-on-one stuff. And there's also, which is basically, it's a product validation one-on-one call where you can, after you've narrowed down your top 5 or top 10, and I already did this with Brandon. And yeah, I could tell it was invaluable for him. He basically, and I've been offering this just on my website, these product validation calls for a while. So yeah, you go over your top 10 list and show me all the stats via screen share on Zoom. Just tell me all of your ideas, and I'm giving you my honest feedback. Like, you probably should not do that one. That one has potential. Okay, keep that one. Okay, and help you kind of narrow it down and kind of brainstorm. It's like about an hour long with me, just masterminding one-on-one. So we added that as an optional add-on because can't do that for everyone. I don't want to be on my phone all day. But we also have a separate package that's VIP, and that's a weekly one-on-one call. So that's a weekly one-on call with Payman or myself. And we already got some students that took us up on that already. And yes, because a lot of people, they want that one-on-one call. They want that one-on-one mentorship. So the VIP basically is on top of the group call. It's an additional one-on-one call every week.
Right. That sounds really exciting. Mm-hmm.
And even during as Ryder said, during the weekly calls that we have, people are free to share their products, and myself, Riley, and even the other can give the feedback on that. So it's a very helpful environment. And that's what we encourage people to be helpful, because we want to make sure that they succeed. So
one of our students said it well. He was on our podcast, Wyatt. He says, he said, I appreciate the weekly sanity check.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like just to check in and you make sure you're on the right path and just be like, okay, I'm not alone here. Okay. I'm still on track. I'm doing the right thing. Okay. Good. I'm still sane.
Exactly. So then the challenge is open currently until June 30th, right? So this podcast is going to be published on the 29th of June, which is Monday. So
well, hurry up, guys. Don't wait. Close this podcast now. Apply now. Time's a ticking.
And then the next one's going to be after, 3 months, right? So you do it every 90 days.
Yeah, every 90 days, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
And right now is a perfect time to get in, not only because more and more people are going to e-commerce, but also if you get in right now, you'll launch your product. 9 days from now is going to be September, which will be right on time for Q4, and this Q4 is going to be the biggest Q4 ever.
Yeah,
pretty exciting. So how can people find out more information? What's the URL? Do you guys want to?
90dayfba.com.
Yeah.
Okay, 90dayfba.com. That's where you need to go, guys. Fantastic. Well, Riley, Payman, thank you so much for your time today. It was a really fun conversation. And I think this 90-day challenge is absolutely amazing. I'm sure people will find it very useful. And I will definitely be recommending people to join it. All right.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
That's fun.
Thank you, Megla. Thank you for because you open our eyes to a completely new world of opportunities that a lot of people did not know. When you did the webinar on India, and have been doing amazing on that for the past year. I've been following your on Facebook, watching your videos. Absolutely mind blowing. I thought I knew everything about sourcing and all that, but I was like, wow, that's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Especially, I'm super excited about India. As I said, I haven't had the chance to go through it yet, but I will be launching a product from India, and I will be documenting the entire process. So far, I've been very busy with our course, our challenge. But as soon as I get some time, I'll definitely get to that, and all credit will go to you because you're the one that actually opened my eyes and our eyes to all of that. So thank you. You're doing a tremendous work for humanity, basically.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much. That's so nice of you to say that, Payman. And you're
And I
going to
can't
travel
wait.
to India, right?
Oh, absolutely. More than that. More than that. As soon as I can't wait to get back on the road, and I'm seriously scoop. I will tell people I'm thinking, even considering within the next year or so, even to go spend a few months in India once I get my product, and even work directly with factories and suppliers there. Absolutely. And all of that was just because of you, Megla.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you
Thank you,
so
Anna.
much. Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. All right. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot for joining, and wish you all the very best. Take care. Bye.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Megla.